Hand him over. If you fight me, I'll tell the court you're unstable. My son was still wearing his Spider-Man backpack. His cheeks were pink from recess. His hand was sticky from a juice box. And yet the first thing he whispered into my shirt, trembling, was, "Mom, please don't make them take me." Lorraine, my ex-husband's mother, stood between us and the school doors like she'd been posted there. Cole, my ex, held a folded sheet of paper. He wouldn't meet my eyes. A security guard I'd never seen before shifted closer, ready to be brave on someone else's behalf. Lorraine smiled at the receptionist. "We're here for a safe transition. There's been a court update." She said it like she was checking in for a flight. "No," I said. "Our exchange is Friday. Who told you to come today?" Cole's throat bobbed. He looked at his mother, then at the floor. Lorraine answered for him. "Plans change when a child needs stability. Stability." That word was her leash. It meant, do what I say and call it love. Jaden clung to me. His fingers dug into my sweater. Lorraine bent down, voice syrupy. "Sweetheart, come with Grandma. Mommy needs to calm down." Then, quieter, aimed straight at his nervous system. "Good boys help their families." I felt my stomach drop because I recognized it. Not the words, what they did to him. His shoulders locked. His breathing changed. He went still the way kids go still, when they've learned stillness is safer than truth. I forced my voice low. "Jaden, look at me. Are you hurt?" He shook his head. "Are you scared?" He hesitated one tiny pause, and Lorraine's eyes brightened, like she'd collected proof. "There," she murmured to Cole. "Even he knows." The security guard cleared his throat. "Ma'am, they have paperwork. Let me see it," I said, hand out. Lorraine's smile didn't move. "Maya, don't make a scene in front of the staff." I wasn't trying to make a scene. I was trying to keep my child from being turned into evidence. Cole unfolded the paper and held it toward the guard, not me. The guard read, and his posture changed. "Miss Torres," he said, suddenly formal. "It's an order." My heart slammed. "From which judge?" The guard blinked like that wasn't his job. I stepped forward anyway. Lorraine stepped with me, blocking. "Paper doesn't outrank a mother," I said. "Show it." Lorraine tilted her head, pity dressed as concern. "This is why we're worried. You get intense." Intense. Another label. Another trap, Jaden whispered, almost inaudible. "Is this the safe house?" I froze. "What safe house?" Lorraine laughed lightly. "Oh, that's just my guest room. He's dramatic." But Jaden's face wasn't dramatic. It was terrified. I looked at the receptionist. "Please call the principal." "And the school resource officer." Lorraine's eyes sharpened. "Maya, stop." "No," I said. "You stop." The deputy arrived, brown uniform, radio on his shoulder, calm eyes. "What's happening?" Lorraine turned her warmth on him like a lamp. "Deputy, we have an updated custody order. The mother is refusing to comply." Refusing. Mother. She didn't have to say dangerous. She let the implication breathe. The deputy took the paper from the guard. He read it once. Then again, his eyebrows pulled together. "Where did you get this?" he asked. Lorraine's smile held. "The court portal. This morning." Cole nodded too fast. The deputy tapped the signature line. "This judge retired last year." Silence hit the room like a dropped plate. Lorraine's mask slipped for half a second calculation. Not fear, then snapped back. "Oh," she said lightly. "How embarrassing. These portals are confusing." I stared at her. She'd walked into my son's school with a forged order and called it confusing. The deputy looked at Cole. "Sir, did you file this?" Cole opened his mouth. Lorraine's fingers brushed his wrist, so small it looked like affection. Cole swallowed. "Yes," he said. The deputy's jaw tightened. "Step outside with me. Both of you." Lorraine lifted her chin like she was being inconvenienced. not exposed. As they walked out, Jaden's eyes followed Lorraine like she was the sun he was trained to orbit. That was the part that scared me most. Not the paper, not the guard, not even Cole's betrayal. It was the way my child looked at the woman trying to take him, like he was waiting for permission to be okay. And as the office door shut behind them, I understood something with sick clarity. Lorraine wasn't just trying to win custody. She was trying to rewire my son, one safe transition at a time. The deputy came back 5 minutes later without Lorraine's smile in the room. "Miss Torres," he said, quieter, "I'm making a report for attempted interference and suspected document fraud. I can't give you legal advice, but you should talk to an attorney today." I nodded, numb. Through the glass, I saw Lorraine speaking to the deputy with her hands folded like prayer. She wasn't frantic. She was negotiating. Cole stood beside her, shoulders slumped, like he'd been scolded, not caught. When they finally returned, Lorraine's eyes went straight to Jaden. She didn't touch him. She didn't have to. "Sweetheart," she said softly, "we'll do this the right way." Then she looked at me and let her voice drop just enough that only I could hear. "You humiliated Cole. Now you'll be evaluated. It's for Jaden." Evaluated. The word landed like a trapdoor. Jaden's fingers tightened around mine. "Mom," he whispered. "Grandma said if you get evaluated, you might not come back." I felt my skin go cold. Lorraine smiled at the receptionist again, flawless. "Thank you for keeping the school safe." And as she guided Cole toward the exit, she added, almost casually, "CPS will be in touch. Try to stay calm when they arrive." I watched them leave, and my son started shaking beside me, because Lorraine wasn't leaving empty-handed. She was leaving the first story behind, one where I was the danger, and I still hadn't seen what she'd already submitted in writing. CPS emailed me that night, like Lorraine had promised. Not a call, not a warning. An automated notice with my name spelled wrong and my life summarized in 3 lines. Child exposed to sedatives, mother impaired at school pickup, family intervened for safety. I sat at my kitchen table, staring at the screen while my son slept down the hall, clutching a stuffed shark like it could keep him anchored. For 1 full minute I didn't move, because if I moved, I might break something I couldn't afford to break. Then I did what Lorraine never did when she was concerned. I got specific. I recorded a quick video walkthrough of my house with the date and time visible. I opened cabinets, showed the locked cleaning supplies, and saved everything into a folder labeled Today. At 6:12 a.m., Cole texted, "Can we talk?" When Jaden woke up, he didn't run to the kitchen like he used to. He hovered in the hallway, eyes careful. "Am I going to the safe house?" he asked. "No," I said immediately. "You're staying with me," he exhaled, but it wasn't relief. It was waiting. I crouched to his level. "Tell me what Grandma said about the safe house." Jaden swallowed. "She said it's where kids go when moms can't control their brains." My chest tightened. "Did she tell you to say anything at school yesterday?" His gaze flicked away. "She said, if I tell the truth, you'll get mad. And if you get mad, the judge will believe her." That's how Lorraine worked. She didn't teach Jaden to hate me. She taught him to fear my emotions. The CPS caseworker arrived at 2 p.m. Her name was Dana. She wore a navy blazer and exhaustion. She introduced herself like she was sorry to exist in my doorway. "I need to assess safety," she said. "Of course," I replied, and held my voice steady even though my hands wanted to shake. Dana asked about medications. I showed her my video walkthrough before she even asked. Her eyebrows lifted. "You did this today?" "Last night," I said. "Because someone is trying to manufacture a story." Dana didn't argue. She just wrote. She asked about the school incident. I told her about the forged order. I showed her the photo I'd snapped of the paper before the deputy took it. Dana's mouth tightened. "That's concerning." "Lorraine told me you'd come," I said. She said it like a promise. Dana turned to Jaden, gentle. Hi, Jaden. Can I ask you some questions? Jaden sat straight on the couch, hands folded the way Lorraine liked. Dana asked, How do you feel at home with Mom? Jaden hesitated, then whispered, Safe. Dana smiled. Do you feel safe with Dad? Jaden nodded. Do you feel safe with Grandma? Jaden's eyes flicked to me, then down. He whispered, I'm supposed to. Dana's pen stopped. What do you mean? You're supposed to, she asked. Jaden swallowed hard. Grandma says good boys help. Good boys don't make her look bad. I felt heat climb my neck, but I stayed quiet. Dana looked at me, expression shifting from routine to alert. Has anyone practiced answers with you? She asked him. Jaden's eyes filled. He nodded once. Dana closed her folder slowly. I can't tell you the outcome today, she said. But coached statements and falsified documents are serious. I'm documenting this. After she left, I called the first family law attorney who answered. Her name was Priya Desai. She didn't soothe me. She asked for dates. When I said forged order at school, she paused and said, Okay, we move fast. That evening, Priya emailed me a request list. Texts, emails, school records, medical records, calendar logs, anything with timestamps. Facts, she wrote. No interpretations. So I started. I searched my inbox for Sutter, the so-called family counselor Lorraine insisted on. Invoices popped up, forwarded by Cole like they were grocery receipts. One line item made my skin prickle. Litigation support parent narrative stabilization. Not therapy. Strategy. At 9:48 p.m., another message hit my phone from an unknown number. I'm sorry. She's going to do it anyway. B. The only B in Cole's family was his sister, Brooke. And suddenly I understood the real shape of Lorraine's plan. She wasn't just filing reports. She was recruiting witnesses. If you're still listening, like and subscribe, because the next part is where I found out why Lorraine was rushing. And it wasn't because she loved my son more than I did. Priya called me after she skimmed the invoices. Who is Bright Futures? She asked. Lorraine's charity, I said. She throws a gala every spring. Priya was quiet for a second. Maya. Dr. Sutter sits on that board. My stomach flipped. So? So he isn't independent, Priya said. He's part of her ecosystem. As if to prove it, Cole texted again, this time with Lorraine's tone hiding behind his thumbs. Mom invited you to the Bright Futures Gala this weekend. It would look good if we all went. For Jaden. For Jaden. Always for Jaden. A ballroom. Donors. Cameras. A place Lorraine could turn concern into applause. Priya's voice sharpened. If she's moving this publicly, she's trying to lock the narrative before a judge ever hears facts. What do we do? I asked. We attend, Priya said. But we bring our own record. I looked down the hallway at my sleeping child and felt something hard form under my fear. If Lorraine wanted a stage, fine. But she was not going to use my son as her microphone again. I waited until morning to answer the unknown number. Because Lorraine trained people to bait you at night, when you're exhausted and reckless. Is this Brooke? I typed. 3 dots appeared, then vanished, then returned. Yes. Please don't tell her I reached out. I can't do this anymore. We met at a coffee shop across from the courthouse, bright windows, too many strangers, nowhere to corner someone without being seen. Brooke arrived wearing sunglasses and a hoodie like she was sneaking out of her own life. She sat down, hands shaking, and didn't order anything. I'm not on your side, she said first, voice tight. I'm on Jaden's. That's fine, I replied. So am I. Brooke slid a plain envelope across the table. Mom keeps a printer room locked, she whispered. I copied what I could. Inside were pages that made my throat go dry. A spreadsheet with Lorraine's handwriting, trust documents, and an email draft addressed to Dr. Warren Sutter titled Narrative for Review. The draft had bullet points like a script. Mother appears emotionally labile. Reference medication access. Use school incident as objective example. Recommend temporary placement with paternal family for stability. Temporary placement. Stability. The words were so clean, so legal, so cruel. Brooke's voice cracked. She told Cole, "You're dramatic." She told him, "You spin things." She told him Dr. Sutter would keep Jaden safe. Does Cole know about the script? I asked. Brooke shook her head. He knows what Mom lets him know. I stared at the spreadsheet again. One line was highlighted. Minor descendant custodial involvement unlock distribution. What is this? I asked. Brooke's jaw tightened. A trust. Grandpa set it up. Mom gets a distribution if she maintains active custodial involvement with a minor descendant. My stomach turned. My son. Brooke nodded. He's a condition. For a moment, I couldn't breathe, because mean mother-in-law stories are sad. But a child tied to a financial trigger is something else. It's colder. It's planned, Brooke whispered. She's racing a deadline. End of the month. And she's using CPS and Dr. Sutter to get there, I said. Brooke flinched like I'd said the truth too loud. She did it to me, she admitted. When I tried to move away, she had me evaluated. She cried. She said she was scared for me. Dr. Sutter wrote letters about my instability. I stayed. I depended on her. Why are you helping now? I asked softly. Brooke's eyes filled. Because she started saying the same sentences about Jaden. Those sentences. The ones that sound like love until you realize they're instructions. Priya joined us halfway through, calm and unreadable. She didn't comfort Brooke. She asked one question. Can you sign an affidavit? Brooke hesitated, then nodded once. Yes. On the drive home, Priya explained what Lorraine's paperwork actually meant. Judges don't care that someone is manipulative, she said. They care that someone is manufacturing evidence. She tapped the trust line. And motive matters. This is motive. That night, I built a timeline. School forged order. CPS report filed the same day. Dr. Sutter invoices labeled litigation support. Brooke's documents showing a script. Lorraine's trust deadline. I also did something I hated needing to do. I prepared my son. Not with fear. With language. Jaden, I said at bedtime, if any adult asks you to say something that isn't true, you can tell me. You won't get in trouble. His eyes searched mine. Even if Grandma says it helps the family? Especially then, I said. He swallowed. Grandma says loving you more than Dad is disloyal. My chest tightened. Love isn't disloyal, I told him. Love is safe. He nodded like he wanted to believe me, then whispered, Is Grandma gonna be mad? I kissed his forehead. Grandma can be mad. You're still allowed to tell the truth. Cole messaged about the gala like it was a peace offering. I read it and felt the trap underneath. The Bright Futures Gala wasn't a fundraiser to Lorraine, it was a courtroom with better lighting. Priya's plan was simple. Let Lorraine take the microphone, because performers always slip. As I zipped Jaden into a blazer and watched him practice a smile that didn't reach his eyes, I realized the sickest part. Lorraine wasn't just trying to take my child. She was trying to make him help. The next afternoon, Dana called me back. I reviewed the intake language, she said. It's unusually polished. Because it was written, I said, not reported. Dana paused. Do you know anyone else who's dealt with this institute? I'm trying. I admitted. Priya did. She sent me a screenshot from a different county filing she'd found. The same phrases, maternal escalation, narrative inconsistency, stability placement, word for word. Different names. Different child. Same template. That's why your case feels pre-written, Priya said. They recycle the storyline. My hands went cold on the steering wheel. If Lorraine's system had a template, then Lorraine wasn't the only one using it. She was just the one using it on my son. That night, Brooke texted once more. She's planning to honor Jaden on stage. She wants him to share his story. I stared at the message until my eyes burned, because if Lorraine got my child on a microphone in a ballroom full of her allies, she could turn one coached sentence into a rumor that would follow us into court. I typed back, "Thank you. Stay safe." Then I closed my phone, looked at my sleeping kid, and promised him silently. If they wanted his voice, they were going to hear the truth, even if it cost me every ounce of comfort I had left. The hotel ballroom smelled like expensive flowers and rehearsal. Lorraine moved through it like she'd designed the air. She greeted board members by first name. She hugged the host. She posed for photos under a banner that read, "Bright futures. Stability starts here." I wanted to laugh at the irony, but my son's hand was in mine and it was damp with sweat. Jaden wore the blazer Cole bought. It fit a little too tight, like everything in this family's version of right. He kept glancing at Lorraine, waiting for cues. That alone told me how deep her training went. Priya arrived with Kira, and a small plan hidden behind normal smiles. We were not there to cause chaos. We were there to capture it. Dinner was served. Speeches began. Lorraine sat near the stage. Perfect posture. The kind that makes strangers assume she's trustworthy. Cole sat beside her, face drawn, like he'd been holding his breath since the school office. Then the host announced, "A special moment with one of our community's bravest kids." Lorraine rose with a glass, and the room quieted. "My friends," she began, voice warm, "thank you for supporting children who need safety." Applause. She turned toward my table and smiled, just for optics. And tonight I want to honor my grandson, Jaden. My pulse kicked. Brooke had warned me. Still, hearing it out loud felt like the floor dropping. Lorraine beckoned. "Sweetheart, come here." Jaden froze. Cole's hand nudged him. "Go on," he whispered. Jaden walked toward the stage like he was walking into a test. I stood. A man in a black suit stepped into my path, hotel security, positioned exactly where Lorraine needed him. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "please remain seated." "That's my child," I said. He didn't move. "Please." Lorraine lifted Jaden's chin toward the lights, a proud grandmother pose. Then she leaned into the microphone. "Jaden has endured a difficult transition," she said softly. "Murmurs, sympathy, and sometimes," she continued, "the most loving thing adults can do is make sure a child is with the caregiver who can stay regulated." Regulated. There it was, Dr. Sutter's language, dressed in charity silk. Lorraine's smile widened. "Jaden, tell everyone what you told Dr. Sutter about Mommy." My blood went cold. She was about to let my son accuse me in a room designed to believe her. Jaden's lips parted. He looked at Lorraine's hand on his shoulder. Then he looked out into the dark crowd. His eyes shined with tears he was trying to swallow. I stepped forward anyway. Priya placed a hand on my arm. "Let him speak," she murmured. "We need her on record," I nodded. "Because survival isn't always gentle." Lorraine whispered into the mic, still sweet. "Don't be scared, honey. Just say it." Jaden swallowed. And then, in a voice so small it shouldn't have carried, he said into the microphone, "Grandma told me to say it." The room didn't clap. It didn't breathe. Lorraine's fingers tightened on his shoulder. Jaden flinched. Lorraine laughed, too loud, trying to smooth it. "Oh, sweetheart," she said, "we practiced your speech. You're mixing things up." Practiced. Speech. She'd just admitted coaching in front of her own donors. Priya didn't waste the opening. She stepped toward the AV table and gave the technician the cue they'd agreed on. The ballroom speakers popped softly. Priya spoke into a handheld mic, steady as a blade. "For the record, the following audio has been submitted to CPS and the court." Then Lorraine's voice filled the room, crisp and clinical. "Use the word scared. If he hesitates, remind him good boys help their families." A second clip followed Dr. Sutter. "If she reacts publicly, it supports dysregulation. Keep pressure on her." A collective shiver moved through the tables. People don't panic at cruelty. They panic at being accidentally recorded standing near it. Lorraine reached for the mic switch like she could shut truth down. The host half stood, confused. Cole's face drained of color. I stepped onto the edge of the stage and held out my hand. "Jaden," I said, voice shaking but clear. "Come to me." He moved fast, like he'd been waiting for permission to run. He tore free of Lorraine's grip and crashed into my arms, shaking. Lorraine leaned close to him, voice sharp now that the mic wasn't near. "Don't embarrass your father," she hissed. Cole heard it. I watched his face change like a memory lit up in him, ugly and familiar. He looked at Lorraine the way a person looks at a door they didn't realize was locked. Phones rose around the room. Kira filmed. A reporter filmed. 2 board members filmed even as they looked sick. A deputy appeared at the ballroom entrance, the same one from the school, off duty, invited by Priya for exactly this reason. He moved through the crowd with calm authority. "Miss Carrington," he said, "you need to step aside. There's an investigation involving forged documents and false reporting." Lorraine's face went still, not ashamed, cornered. "This is harassment," she snapped. The deputy didn't blink. "It's procedure." Lorraine looked at the room, scanning for allies, and for the first time her allies looked away. She leaned toward me, smiling for the cameras while her eyes stayed cold. "This isn't over," she whispered. I believed her, because Lorraine didn't lose easily. She just changed venues. As we left the ballroom with my son shaking against my chest, Priya leaned in and said the one sentence that made my stomach drop again. "Brace yourself. If she can't win in public, she'll try to win on paper tonight." And I knew exactly what that meant. The next 48 hours felt like living inside a binder. Priya filed emergency motions. Sanctions for falsified documents, a protective order against Lorraine, and a request for a neutral evaluator, someone who didn't attend Lorraine's galas or cash her checks. Every filing had timestamps. Every timestamp was a nail. CPS called for a follow-up. Dana's tone had changed. "Miss Torres, I need to ask directly. Do you believe the paternal grandmother is coaching the child?" "Yes," I said, "and I have audio." Dana paused. "Send it through counsel." Cole called that night, voice shaking. "My mom says you're trying to destroy our family." "Your mom forged a judge's signature," I said. "Cole, do you want the truth or the version that keeps you comfortable?" Silence. Then, small, the truth. So I told him about the trust line Brooke highlighted. Minor descendant custodial involvement, unlock distribution. Cole's breath hitched. "That can't be real." "It is," I said. "Ask your sister." 2 days later, Priya got a call from the district attorney's office. Not sirens, not drama. A tired investigator who cared about paperwork. "We've seen this institute before," he told her. "Get us everything." Bright Futures wasn't just a charity. It was a funnel. Clinicians who wrote recommendations. Donors who paid for programs. And reports that always seemed to land children in the homes of the people funding the institute. Custody laundering with clipboards. Priya's next move was simple. Let Lorraine talk again this time, where it would be recorded legally. We requested a monitored exchange at the family center with posted notice of recording. Lorraine insisted on attending anyway. Of course she did. She couldn't resist directing. Jaden walked in, holding his backpack like a shield. When he saw me, his face lit up for half a second, then he caught himself, glancing toward Lorraine. "Permission first." That broke something in me, but I kept my voice gentle. Lorraine crouched beside him, smiling. "Remember what we practiced," she murmured. "Be polite. Don't cling. Tell the nice lady you feel calmer at Grandma's." My stomach turned. I didn't react. I didn't give her a clip of hysteria. I just reached for Jaden's hand. "Let's draw dinosaurs," I said. "The spiky one." Jaden nodded, breathing hard. Inside the visit room, he whispered, "Grandma says, if I tell you she practiced me, you'll go to the bad doctor." "What bad doctor?" I asked softly. He swallowed. The one who makes moms disappear. That was Lorraine's real weapon. Not taking me away in one move, but making my child believe I could vanish at any time. When the hour ended, Lorraine leaned toward me, voice bright enough for the supervisor to hear. "We're so proud of you, Maya. You're staying regulated. Regulated." Like I was a dog trained not to bark. Outside, Priya took the recorder from my purse and played it back in the car. Lorraine's voice was clear. "Remember what we practiced." Priya exhaled. "That's coaching testimony." The hearing was set for the following week. Lorraine had one last move left, and she played it the night before court. At 11:17 p.m., my porch camera sent an alert. A hooded figure stepped into frame, dropped a small box, and disappeared. Inside the box was a sealed pill bottle with my name on it. Anti-anxiety medication. A trap you could hold in your hand. I didn't touch it. I called the deputy. I called Priya. And as I watched the red recording light blink on my camera, one thought landed cold and certain. Lorraine didn't need me to be unstable. She just needed me to look unstable long enough for the system to do the rest. Priya told me not to throw the bottle away, not to hide it, not to fix it. "People like Lorraine count on you cleaning up," she said. "We preserve." The deputy photographed the box in place, bagged it with gloves, and asked, "Do you recognize the medication?" "No," I said. "And I've never filled a prescription like that." He nodded. "We'll request pharmacy records." At 6:30 a.m., Brooke texted me one word. "Sorry," then nothing. Priya's jaw tightened. Lorraine probably found out. Cole called, early, voice raw. "Mom came to my apartment last night," he said. "She told me to stop talking to Brooke. She says you're poisoning us." I kept my voice even. "Did she mention pills?" A pause. "She asked if you were still taking things." My hands went cold. A pill bottle showed up on my porch. Silence. Then a sound like he'd swallowed glass. "She wouldn't," he whispered. "She did," I said. "Or someone acting for her did." "That's evidence tampering." Cole exhaled hard. "What do you want from me?" "I want you to stop being neutral while our son gets used," I said. That afternoon, Priya forwarded an email from the DA investigator. They wanted Brooke's affidavit fast. They wanted proof tying Bright Futures to custody recommendations and Dr. Sutter's billing trail. It wasn't justice yet. It was movement. Priya prepared me for court the way you prepare someone for surgery. "You answer only what you're asked," she said. "You don't perform. You don't plead. You stay in facts." That night, I sat at Jaden's bedside after he fell asleep. He stirred and whispered, "Are we in trouble?" "No," I said softly. "You're safe." In the dark, with court looming and my porch camera blinking like a heartbeat, I realized the real fight wasn't tomorrow. The real fight was inside my son, against the idea that love comes with scripts. And Lorraine had spent years writing hers. The courtroom smelled like old carpet and new fear. Lorraine arrived early with Dr. Warren Sutter and 2 Bright Futures board members, like she was bringing character witnesses to a job interview. Cole sat beside her, shoulders tight, staring straight ahead. Brooke wasn't there. Priya sat with me, binder open, tabs color-coded. School, CPS, gala, trust, porch. Jaden was in a child room down the hall with Kira, drawing dinosaurs that didn't know what temporary could steal. Lorraine's attorney spoke first. He didn't call Lorraine cruel. He called her worried. He said she had reason to believe I was impaired. He said the gala proved I was reactive in public environments. He used words like dysregulation and instability like they were medical facts, not weapons. Then Dr. Sutter took the stand. He spoke in clean sentences about attachment concerns and parental regulation. He said Jaden appeared more settled in Lorraine's home. He said he recommended temporary stability placement. Priya didn't argue feelings. She argued conflict. "Doctor," she asked, "who pays you?" Sutter blinked. "The family." "Which member?" The paternal grandmother's foundation, he admitted. Priya lifted an invoice. Why does it include litigation support? Sutter's jaw tightened. Administrative language and parent narrative stabilization? Priya asked. The judge leaned forward. Sutter glanced at Lorraine like he needed permission to breathe. I help families communicate, he said. By coaching a child, Priya asked. Objection. Overruled. Priya played the audio. Lorraine's voice. Use the word scared. Good boys help their families. Sutter's voice. If she reacts publicly, it supports dysregulation. Keep pressure on her. Then the family center recording. Remember what we practiced. The judge's expression didn't change much, but his pen moved faster. Priya called the deputy next. He testified plainly. Forged order presented at school. Wrong judge. Wrong case number. Attempted removal. No drama. Just facts. Lorraine finally took the stand. She wore concern like perfume. She said she loved her grandson. She said she only wanted stability. She called the forged order a printing error. She said the recordings were taken out of context. She said she was terrified for Jaden. Priya waited until Lorraine finished performing motherhood. Then she asked one question that didn't sound emotional at all. Miss Carrington, Priya said, is it true a family trust distribution is conditioned on your custodial involvement with a minor descendant? Lorraine's eyes narrowed. That's private. It's relevant, Priya said. The judge looked at Lorraine. Answer. Lorraine's smile tightened. This is not about money. Priya held up the highlighted spreadsheet Brooke copied. Then why is this line highlighted in your handwriting? Lorraine stared at the paper like it offended her. I don't recognize that document, she snapped. Priya nodded. We have Brooke Carrington's affidavit attesting to its origin. Lorraine's composure cracked for a heartbeat rage, real and hot, then she swallowed it. And that's when Cole stood. Your Honor, he said, voice shaking. I need to speak. Lorraine turned toward him, eyes warning. But the warning didn't land. Cole looked exhausted, like he'd been holding his breath his whole life. My mom told me Maya was unstable, he said. She told me Dr. Sutter was neutral. She told me it was for Jaden. He swallowed. But I heard the recordings. I saw the fake order. I don't know what's real anymore. The judge took a slow breath, then spoke with the calm finality of someone done with theater. Temporary order, he said. No contact between Miss Carrington and the child pending investigation. Mother's parenting time restored immediately. Father's time continues under a revised schedule. Any interference will be contempt. My lungs burned like I'd been underwater. I didn't smile. I didn't look at Lorraine. I just closed my eyes and pictured my son laughing without checking anyone's face first. In the hallway, Cole stopped me. Maya, I'm sorry. I believe you, I said. But sorry doesn't unteach fear. He nodded, small, like a boy caught between obedience and shame. That night, I tucked Jaden in. He stared at me and asked, Are we allowed to be happy now? Yes, I whispered. We are, he hesitated. Grandma said loving you was disloyal. I kissed his forehead. Love isn't disloyal, I said. Love is supposed to feel safe. Now I want to ask you something. Because families like this don't leave neat endings. If a relative says they're protecting the child, but they're really protecting control, image, and money, what do you do when the child still loves them anyway? Do you cut contact completely, even if it hurts in the short term? Or do you allow limited contact and risk the manipulation coming back? Drop your answer in the comments and share this with someone who needs the reminder that family isn't a free pass to harm. 2 weeks later, Dana emailed Priya that the CPS report was being closed as unsubstantiated, with notes about attempted coaching and falsified documentation. Brooke called me from a blocked number and said, voice shaking, I filed to end Mom's control over my finances. I'm done. I believed her, because I could hear the air in her lungs for the first time. Jaden still flinches sometimes before he tells me something small. He'll ask, "Are you mad?" Like anger is a siren that summons police. So, I repeat the truth until it starts to stick. You're not responsible for adult feelings. You don't have to pick teams. You don't have to earn safety. And every time he relaxes, even a little, I know Lorraine didn't just lose a hearing. She lost the story she was trying to write inside my child.